Hello, 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 hello. How are you? How you doing? Welcome to Bima's Crafty Corner. I am Bima, better known as Els, and I have a little project for us today. It's this one, and this is so simple, okay? But you can add this into your junk journals. And what it is it's a corner tuck, but it's also a tab. See that? Gives you a little tab that sticks off the top of the page, and you can tuck stuff in here. Now, that's the thing. If you want to do this the other way, it's the same exact piece, and you can do it so that your tab is on the side of your page. So it's entirely up to you, but it's very simple to do, very easy. I'm going to get out supplies, and I'll be right back. Okay, so let's start with the easy stuff. You want some scrap paper. As long as it's 3 by 6 inches, you're good. You're going to want a circle punch if you have one. If you don't, use your dies. If you don't have that, use something like a roll of tape, okay? You just want to get that circle shape. You don't want the circle shape, don't use the circle shape. Use a square, whatever works for you, okay? Get that out of the way. You're going to want a bone folder, a corner rounder, a pencil, a ruler, possibly a pair of scissors, but definitely a paper trimmer, okay? So we're going to start by cutting our piece of paper. And what we want is a piece that is 3 by 6. So 3 inches tall, 6 inches wide. This is 8.5, so we're going to take off 2. And that's our paper, okay? You do not need scoring tools for this. You can if you want to, but you really don't. Just fold it in half. And what you have here is basically a 3 by 3 inch card. Yeah. So you got 3 inches, 3 inches. On the fold side is where we're going to work, all right? So I am going to burnish this, and I'll be right back. All right, so here's the important part. You need the card to be backwards so that it opens to the right. Mostly when you have a card, we have them so they open like a book, but we want it to open the opposite direction. And then we're going to put it on our desk or whatever, and we're going to put 2 marks on here. Okay, at 1 3/4. So 1 3/4 here and 1 3/4 here. So that is 1 3/4 on the fold and 1 3/4 on the top. Okay. Whew. Now you're going to use your punch, your circle die, or whatever round thing you have, and you're just going to put those marks right there. Okay. Just like that. Put your marks right on the cut line and punch that out. You'll have a piece that looks like this. Now, we're going to round the corner here and here and over here. Now, I want to round the corners here and here. So this is where your scissors may come in handy. You may, depending upon the size of the punch that you use, you may have to trim this down a little bit. So use your scissors if you have to. Kind of fold this in so that you can get to this, because I got to tell you, it's not easy to get that part. Ooh. Get that in, punch that, and then we're going to do the same thing on the other one. Now, you may have to trim that up with your scissors. This is not easy, so if you just want to do this with your scissors, do it with your scissors, because I'm telling you, it's not easy to do. Okay, so now we have a rounded corner here, rounded corner here, rounded, rounded, rounded. All right, everything is rounded. I'll be right back. So now, to finish this up, you don't have to ink if you don't want to. I will ink so that you guys can see the edges. And because this is going to wrap around a page, we're going to ink both sides. I would tell you to go ink, but we're almost done. This is a quickie. Okay, so now we're going to put this down. We're going to open it. That's our center seam. Up here, we're going to take our ruler again, and we're going to come down 1/2 inch. Put a little line here, because we don't want our glue to go beyond that, okay? So let me show you. There's a little line that I just put there. See that line? I don't want my glue to go any further down than that, okay? And then I'm going to fold this back over, and I'm going to make sure that I line this up perfectly. And I'm going to hold it for a second so that it dries. Now, that's my tab. Now, if I want to put a tab on the other side, I would have put glue on here too, but I don't want that. Okay? So now, this is ready to be decorated. If you're doing this as a make-ahead, stop. This is it. Okay? So, there's your tab. Or, here's your tab. Either way, if it's a make-ahead, stop, because you don't want to go any further than this because you want to decorate it later, okay? If you're decorating it for a specific project, then by all means, go ahead and decorate. In order to put paper on here, probably the simplest way to do that is to take a piece of paper and cut it down to 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. And then do your same punch. So you're going to come in 1 3/4, 1 3/4, mark and punch. If you're using your tape, let's do one with tape. So if you're using a roll of tape, all you're going to do is just put the outside edge of your tape right on your marked line, and then just trace around it. Let's do it this way where I can actually see. So I'm just lining up the mark to the tape, mark to the tape, draw a line, and then I'll just trim that off by hand. Remove any residual pencil marks. Round your corners. Scrap paper. Not 110 pound. Whew. If you have a punch like this that doesn't want to go through a single piece of paper, yeah, just use a piece of scrap paper. Okay? Get that out of the way. And then we're just going to put this on. So I got a bit of a line here. Let me get rid of it. Okay. So we just ink this and put it down. Okay, so the base piece itself is 3 by 6 inches, folded in half, and then the cover piece is 2 3/4 by 2 3/4, and you just want to cut that same circle out of the piece. A little bit of adhesive. Now this is rice paper, so it should stick pretty good. Usually I would use a glue stick with rice paper because it's very delicate, but I'm not too worried about it right now. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this on. And there you go. Again, if you have a color, theme, style that you do, this might be where you stop. You may decide, Nope, I'm going to just decorate it completely. That's entirely up to you. But if you're going to do this as a make-ahead, this is probably where you'd want to stop, or here. Okay? And then just put it in your stash, pull it out when you need it, and then decorate it. Okay? And because if you're making this as a make-ahead and you're just going to put a piece of paper on it like this, just write on there, 2 3/4 squared. You know that the top piece has to be 2 3/4 squared for top. And you can put that in your stash, okay? That's my little project for today. Very simple, very easy to do, but it adds so much. To a page. That's it. That's all I have for you today. Listen, if you're new here and you haven't done so already, hit the button. Subscribe. Why not, right? What else? Do all the things. Go down to the description box and click on that. You're going to get all my social medias down there. So if you want to cyber stalk me, that's a good place to start. Until I see you again, stay well, my friends. I love you guys. Bye-bye.